Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic Hypersonic.
I'm Barry Keith Cook, and we're here to talk to you about the latest episode of Superman and Lois. It was called Break the Cycle. And as it starts, in the past, Lex's wife serves him with divorce papers, and he looks ridiculous with the hair that they gave him. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, they talk about his daughter and how he sucks as a dad. In the present, Lex learns that Superman is alive, and Clark wants to try to talk it out. But Lois says, okay, fine, but I'm also going to look for contingency against Luthor and Doomsday. One of the boys' friends reveals that she knows who Superman is, but says she won't say anything, and is just sorry they went through what happened. Superman confronts Lex and apologizes to him, but says that what was done to him doesn't justify what he's doing, which Lex doesn't want to hear. Again, in flashback, Lex argues with his wife about their daughter, who his wife doesn't want around Lex and his legal troubles. Jonathan is called away to do super stuff, leaving Jordan to pick up John's girlfriend at the bus stop. Lois confronts Lex's daughter in Paris, and she's pregnant, but she's also reluctant to engage with Lex to try to resolve anything. Lois then tells Clark he needs to hide out at the Fortress of Solitude, which he doesn't want to do. But just then, Lois actually gets a call from Lex's daughter. Her name is Elizabeth, by the way. Clark asks his mother how he can defeat Doomsday if he keeps reviving even stronger after being killed, and they review the fight using Kryptonian tech, which convinces Clark he can't win. Lex learns Lois has Elizabeth and goes to see her at the paper, and they visit at the diner. Lex denies ever killing anyone, even though he did kill, but Elizabeth isn't buying it. In flashback, Lex and Elizabeth talk about the divorce and how she changed him. Jonathan's girlfriend doesn't believe the story about where John has been all this time when he can't see her, and she threatens to go home if he doesn't fess up. Elizabeth Luthor tries to explain that Lex lost her because of his actions, but he won't accept reality. So she walks away, and Clark talks to her, and she then goes back to talk with Lex. Lex then flashes back to his troubled past with his folks, which Elizabeth didn't know about, and she seems to agree to reconcile with him. Lois uses her dad's Superman call box to summon Doomsday, and the boys hear it, so John goes to it just as Doomsday arrives and tries to evacuate Lois, but she talks to Doomsday, urging him to remember her. Elizabeth confronts Lex about terrorizing Lois and tells him he has to let it go if he wants her and her kid in his life, but he resists, saying Lois must pay a price, so she cuts ties again. In flashback to 17 years ago, Superman confronts Lex to take him in, but he's in his current suit, which doesn't make any sense, but anyway. Jordan spills the beans to Candace, Jonathan's girlfriend, and she forgives Jonathan. Clark tells Lois they need to go to the fortress, but she tells him she talked to Doomsday, and that he won't be a problem anymore. So, I like this episode quite a bit, despite the fact that there wasn't a lot of Superman stuff. He shows up, in the suit, but doesn't really do anything, but I found it to be okay because I find that I'm really enjoying how they're dealing with Lex Luthor on this show. They've humanized him and made him something other than what he's always been, which is a mustache-twirling villain. I mean, I guess on Lois and Clark and maybe Smallville he had some nuance. I didn't see Smallville, but here they're treating it in a real, adult manner, and he seems like a real 3D person, and, that he's just acting out of pain, and I like that. Of course, they take it to an extreme because, he created a super being, an evil super being to kill Superman, so on the other hand, it's comic book-like. The comic book elements are still there, but it just seems like a very real human story, which totally fits, the tenor of this whole show, especially this season. And so, I really like that. I'd like to know why Lois thinks that Doomsday isn't going to be a problem anymore. I mean, she did talk to him and try to get him to remember his Lois from his world. And I think she got through to him, but he kind of just takes off and doesn't say anything. So, how does Lois know he's not going to be a problem anymore? So I don't know how that makes any sense, but I guess they'll reveal that next week. Now there are only 5 episodes left to the whole series, so I'm really wondering how they're going to wrap everything up. Both of the boys have powers now, but they don't have suits, so I'm wondering if they're going to get suits. I'd love for them to get suits. That would be really cool. I'd really love for Supergirl to show up. That's probably not going to happen, but that would be awesome. Because it's going to take a lot to confuse that. I don't think he's just going to not be a problem anymore. I think there is going to be another fight, and I think Superman's going to need both his kids, and I think it would be great if they brought Kara in. They probably won't, but that would be awesome sauce. But yeah, I'm really liking this season so far. I wish this show were an ending. It's almost like this is the best season they've had, and they're just going to end it and end the whole show, and it's just so stupid because it's all about money, which is ridiculous. But anyway, I did like this episode, and I'll be back to do a review of next week's episode once it airs. I'm going to get out of here for now. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.